AusCam has always had a vision to prevent exploitation and trafficking of girls and young women everywhere, and we've always operated for the last 12 years since our foundation operated in Cambodia. But ever since day one of AusCam, there's been this ongoing refining and learning. So it started out as a response to an orphanage that was closed because it was a scam, and not having anywhere for the adolescent young women to find a safe place and a transition. So our founder, Julie from Australia, who was a social worker here in Cambodia, started AusCam with about a dozen young women and a house she rented to help them to be able to transition to a safe adulthood and independence. And then over the years, just identifying that whilst that was an incredibly valuable and helpful response, it did not touch as many people as it needed to, given the scale of exploitation and trafficking issues here in Cambodia. And so AusCam evolved to really explore the role of education and ways of reducing the vulnerability and increasing resilience of young women so that they were able to resist and take better life choices or be protected from exploitation and trafficking, especially labour trafficking and sexual trafficking within Cambodia. But then in about 2 years ago now, the UN did this large-scale survey of Cambodia looking at this issue, emerging issue of OCSE, Online Child Sexual Exploitation. And what they found was that about 1 in 11 children here in Cambodia who were online, and 93% of the population is online. So nearly 10% of all children in Cambodia were being impacted by OCSE. And so when we were coming across this and seeing this new and emerging and rapidly accelerating form of exploitation, which COVID and the online learning environment that COVID created really magnified, then it caused us to keep our vision to reduce and prevent exploitation, but to make a special focus on our mission, because the level of impact of OCSE was a magnitude larger than the other forms of trafficking and exploitation we were seeing. But that really created a bit of a shift for us, because in a very positive way, because really when you're looking at OCSE, it's one of the very few forms of exploitation where a young woman is actually enabled to be able to protect themselves. Usually in forms of exploitation, they are victims, and there's a limited amount that they can do to prevent a middleman coming into a community, dealing with their parents, tricking them, or other mechanisms where it's just very difficult. The power relationship is such that they don't have a defense. But when this is your portal to an online exploitation, you have all the power in the world to accept, to connect, to make wise choices or not make wise choices, and either be protected or not from sexploitation and grooming and the issues that come with online child sexual exploitation. But then as we looked at that, what we really recognized is it's just not going to be that helpful for NGOs, for adults, for old white men to be telling, adolescent Cambodian girls, don't do this, don't create relationships, don't explore romantic connections, don't do what all adolescents do as they're exploring their identity and moving into peer relations that are so important for their formation. we realised that a top-down approach to try and protect them was paternalistic and probably not very helpful at all. So then from that, the excitement of really saying, how do we help young women protect other young women? How do we help women who maybe have been victims or at high risk to be strong and resilient, but then to move from that therapeutic activism to help protect, to be a change agent, a voice of behaviour change that reaches out to many, many more young women. And so with that kind of programming, we initiated social movement, and we're looking at training change agents and then supporting them to lead themselves and to train others and to replicate, whether that's through campaign incubators, whether it's through advocacy events, being peer mentors, big sisters to younger children, citizen researchers, digital influencers. We're defining different ways that we can help these young women to feel cool, to feel empowered, to be the leaders who other young women want to follow, are excited, and the positive dynamic, positive self-identity leading a behaviour change because I'm worth protecting now. So that's really where we're moving into and seeing really exciting results too.